First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And a sincere salutation to all the Akim pushing his truth and sincerity by Shem Rokah Kodash. As you can see, the title of this article says Elon Musk, Crypto, Cannibalism, French Sages Prophecies for 2022. And it's dated December 28th, 2021. And it says Nostradamus prophecies may offer insight on global economy next year. That's the thing with Esau. They always look at outside sources instead of the the true source, okay? Which is what? The Bible. It tells you in the book of Revelation 19 and 10, it says, "And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Worship the Most High. For the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy." So the thing is that, Esau always goes to outside sources, but really he should go to where? To the Bible, okay? You should go to the Bible, okay? Because the Bible, the studying of the Bible will reveal to you the will of the Most High, okay? So worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahushai, which is the Son of the Most High, is the spirit of prophecy. Okay, so if you want to know anything, you go to who? You go to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, to know about prophecies. Okay, but let's go ahead and read a little bit more. It says, according to prophecies by the long dead French plague doctor, astrologer, and seer Nostradamus, next year promises more food shortages and inflation, while many will seek financial stability by turning away from traditional money. Nostradamus published his Les Prophéties, full of predictions for centuries, back in 1555. Despite the fact that his foretelling is poetically vague, open to a handful of interpretations, and therefore often linked to actual events after the said events have occurred. Astrologer Rita Wiggle saw a few particularly interesting verses in the batch which appeared to speak of next year's economy. She drew attention to them in an article for the New York Post. Okay, so it says here that his foretelling is poetically vague and it's open to a handful of interpretations. Okay, therefore often linked to actual events after the said events have occurred. Okay, so right, because Nostradamus is not in the scripture, so what does he know? If anything, he probably read the scriptures and then came up with his own, right? And here this astrologer, Rita Wiggle, saw a few particular interesting verses in the batch which appeared to speak of next year's economy. There she goes. There's this person, Rita, whether male or female, goes speaking of Nostradamus and linking it to next year's economy. But let's read. Inflation, food shortage, cannibalism. In one passage for next year, Nostradamus wrote, "So high the price of wheat that man is stirred, his fellow man to eat in his despair." Wiggle says that he is possibly warning of high food prices that will affect the cost of living. That's happening already all around, with inflation surging to decades high rates in the UK, the US, Germany, and nearly all other major economies, not to speak of the lesser ones. Wiggle even goes as far as to claim that the prophecy predicts cannibalism, perhaps though Nostradamus merely speaks of the better off ones profiting from the suffering of others, which can be considered a cannibalism of a sort, according to Wiggle. Okay, so this person believes that Nostradamus hinted, okay, of high prices that will affect the cost of living, and eventually cannibalism, right? Now, it tells you here, it says, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap on earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. And the thing is the Bible says that victuals, which really victuals is another word for food. Okay. Let's look at a word victuals. Victual, food or provisions, right? Food and provisions, right? You know, food in your daily necessities, right? The necessities of life shall be so good cheap upon the earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth. So the thing about it is that when you look at today, okay, you you see that things are very cheap, right? Certain things are cheap, I should say, because if you look around, you know, gas is going up. Just, you know, renting and buying homes is going up. You know, everything seems to be going up. So even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. So at one point, you know, things at, you know, on one hand, things seem to be cheap, but on the other hand, you know, things seem to be very expensive, you know, and them raising minimum wage, don't be fooled. That just means they have to raise prices. Okay. And right now, the many goods are not being supplied throughout the United States because of what's going on in the coast of California with the ships not being able to offload merchandise. So yeah, great confusion. Okay, okay. So let's go back to the article. It said what? Cannibalism, right? Excuse me, I have my allergies. Okay. It says, perhaps though Nostradamus merely speaks of the better off ones profiting from the suffering of others, which can be considered cannibalism of a sort. No, I'm sorry. It says, Wiggle even goes as far as to claim that prophecy predicts cannibalism. Okay, I'm sorry. You have to bear with me. Okay, so let's go to let me see. Let's get Baruch. We'll start at the top. Therefore, the Lord hath made good his word, which he pronounced against us, the Israelites, okay, and against our judges and that judged Israel, and against our kings and against our princes and against the men of Israel and Judah, to bring upon us great plagues, such as never happened under the whole heaven. Okay, so the Israelites were plagued, okay, and it has never happened like it has happened, you know, plagues. Okay, things have come upon us, okay, like no other nation under whole heaven. And it came to pass in Jerusalem, according to the things that were written in the law of Moses, that a man should eat the flesh of his own son and the flesh of his own daughter. And that was a curse in the book of Deuteronomy 28 and 53. Moreover, he had delivered them to be in subjection to all the kingdoms that are round about, because the Israelites were scattered throughout the world, okay, in the slave trades. You see, you know, those Israelites that were taken from the coast of Africa. Many think they were Africans, but they were not. Those that came to America were not Africans. Those were actually Israelites fleeing from persecution. They went into the interiors of Africa, okay? And that was a curse that they would be spread throughout the whole world, okay? And then they would have children there, and that's why you have what the Bible speaks of confusion of faces, okay? Moreover, he had delivered them to be in subjection to all the kingdoms that are round about. Subjection meaning what? Slaves. To be as a reproach and a desolation among all the people round about, where the Lord has scattered them. Thus we were cast down and not exalted, because we have sinned against the Lord our God and have not been obedient to his voice. To the Lord our power appertaineth righteousness, but to us and to our fathers open shame, as appeareth this day. Okay. Now, this hints to what? The curses, but that the Lord put upon us for what? For not obeying, not being obedient to his voice. Okay, that third verse, that a man should eat the flesh of his own son and the flesh of his own daughter. This is a future prophecy. Okay, that would happen. Okay, not only to Israelites but also to America, and I'm going to show you that where it says that. Okay, seventh, for all these plagues are come upon us, which the Lord hath pronounced against us. And that's of a fact, because in the besieging of Jerusalem, it was foretold in the prophecy. Okay, even here, it's hinting to the Babylonians and as well as the Romans. Okay, they besieged Jerusalem, and because of the being besieged, they had to turn to eating their sons and daughters. But this is also speaking about a future prophecy. Okay, so as they're trying to go to Nostradamus, here it is. It's all in the Bible. Okay, so let's see. This is Second Ezra's 15 and 56. It speaks about Salakia. It speaks about cannibalism. Okay, we just read, okay, in the book of Esdras, that there would be what? Famine. Okay, and great confusion. Okay, even though things seem cheap, all hell will break loose, just like now. Things seem cheap. Okay, you can still buy certain things for $1. You can go to the dollar store. You can still buy, more or less get deals on certain things. But all of a sudden, things are also high. So, there's a lot of confusion, you know. But this is a 2 Ezra 15 and 56. Like as thou hast done unto my chosen, speaking about Babylon, which is America, saith the Lord, even so shall the Most High do unto thee, and shall deliver thee into mischief. Thy children shall die of hunger, and thou shalt fall through the sword. Thy cities shall be broken down, and all thine shall perish with the sword in the field. They that be in the mountains shall die of hunger, and eat their own flesh, and drink their own blood, for very hunger of bread and thirst of water. Okay? So this is going to be the reward of the whoredom of Babylon, okay? Like as they have done to the chosen, here they persecuted the saints, right? This country was built on the backs of so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. They raped, robbed, and pillaged the earth, put blacks into hardcore slavery. Hispanics, they can't even be in this country. Look at the Native Americans. This land was basically taken from them, right? Okay, so even it shall be done unto you, and you will be delivered into mischief, and your children shall die of hunger, right? Famine. And also it says, they that be in the mountains shall die of hunger and eat their own flesh and drink their own blood. So there's people that are going to eat their own flesh. They're going to eat themselves. They're going to eat, their own children and drink their own blood. You see, for very hunger of bread and thirst of water. So if they're eating themselves, trust and believe they're eating others. Okay, and this is in the Bible, and this is why they don't want you to read the book of Esdras, the Apocrypha, and the other books in the Apocrypha, because they don't want you to know the truth. Salak, let's go back. It says, as he wrote, the copies of gold and silver inflated, which after the theft were thrown into the lake, at the discovery that all is exhausted and dissipated by the debt, all scripts and bonds will be wiped out. Wiggle claims Nostradamus nodded to the rise of cryptocurrency in the year ahead. The copies of gold and silver can indeed be taken for crypto tokens that copy the precious metals. Status as a reserve asset. And crypto is indeed spreading at the speed of a Formula One race car with new tokens. Emergence. NFTs and investors flocking to the metaverse. The all is exhausted. Bit may speak of the demise of the fiat money, exhausted and dissipated by the debt. It all adds up, it appears. Okay. And you can see that you know the money, the fiat money is being exhausted and dissipated by the debt, because when the whole pandemic came, what did they say? You needed exact change. They were saying there was a shortage of change. Okay, because they wanted to what? They wanted you to use debit. Okay, so this is all set up through the Spirit, and you're only going to find this in the Scriptures. And really, when you seek knowledge, when you really understand, that's why the Scriptures say, "Watch as well as pray," and see what is exactly the government is doing, okay, to the people, okay, and throughout the world. And crypto is spreading fast, right? Because they're heading toward what? They want a digital currency. They want to get rid of the paper money, and that's prophecy. Okay. Okay, so right. The money is what? It's being exhausted and dissipated. Let's see, Salakia. I want to look something up. Trying to make this as short as possible. Let's look up this word dissipated. Dissipated. Right? Dissipated. Disappear or cause to disappear, disperse or scatter, squander or fritter away money, energy, resources. Okay? So, right, money is disappearing or being caused to disappear. And ultimately, money, I know Apostle Gabar always goes into it. Money used to be backed by gold and silver. You could actually go and get gold and silver, okay? And money would actually it would actually be backed by gold and silver. Salakia. This is Micah 6:10. It says, "Are there yet the treasures of wickedness in the house of the wicked, and the scant measure that is abominable?" Okay, so and that's the thing. These devils are they're no longer wanting to use money. Well, actually, they cut out money a long time ago. Gold, I should say, as a source of value, a long time ago. Now it's just really numbers on a screen that are adding or subtracting on the screen, right? If you never, okay, use money, would you use debit? Therefore, numbers are just adding and subtracting on the screen. So therefore, what really is the value of paper money? It really has no value at all. The banks used to actually have gold, and they would actually equal out the money that was going into the bank, or whatever the case, or being lent, or whatever the case. But now it's just one big smoke screen. So there's no more treasures, okay, in the house of the wicked, and the scant measure that is abominable. So it's abominable. It's abominable. The whole money system, credit, it's abominable, when you really get into it. I said, "Shall I count them pure with the wicked balances and with the bag of deceitful weights?" Right. Wicked balances and with the bag of deceitful weights, because, ultimately, they control the money, therefore they control the laws, and it's all deceitful. Money is losing its value in this day and age because it's no more backed by silver and gold, like I said. And it hasn't been like that for many years, okay? And the Federal Reserve is its own entity. The United States doesn't even own that. The richer elites, so-called elites, they own the money system. Now, and like I said, it's very deceitful. Money these days, it's not what you think. It's just paper. When you and people, they never can wrap their mind around that. This is James 5:3. Your gold and silver is cankered. Okay.
Strong's G 2728. Katiao. Katiao.
Right, to rust down, corrode, canker. They got some gold and silver in vaults that they don't even use. It's just sitting there rusting. And the rest of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. You heap treasure together for the last days. Okay, so these rich banking elite have heaped treasure for the last days, and that's the thing. A lot of people don't understand and don't know. Okay, that money is not what they say it is. It really is not. That's why they're trying to get rid of it. You know, that's a big hoax when you look into the money system. Man, you can there's videos on it on YouTube. I admonish brothers to watch that. It's crazy. There's no end of the deceitful bag. The abominable balance, weight, and balances, because what they do with money in the banks is just ridiculous. Okay, and here it is. They give you paper and give you paper as value. People kill for it. People, they do all types of abominable things for money, and really it's just a piece of paper, right? But yet you can get services and goods. See, the Lord is going to visit America and these rich men, so to speak. Okay. James 5:1, go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten. Okay, let's go to this word corrupted. Riches are corrupted. Is there any word for corrupted? No. It says, for behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Okay. Right, laborers have reaped down their fields, especially the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. But it's all a witness against them because they've gotten rich over the backs of the Israelites. Okay. And the money's been kept back by fraud. Here it is before you get your check. What do? They tax you. You have to work you have to work till the end of the week to get paid. You're supposed to get paid every day.
Strong's G 650. Apostereo. Apostereo.
To defraud, rob, despoil. Here it is. The cost of living goes up. Okay, and so does the minimum wage, but the minimum wage is never enough for people to live off minimum wage, by themselves, and so on and so forth. It's crazy when you really look into it. So the Bible speaks of all this stuff. It says Musk and artificial intelligence. When Nostradamus wrote, the moon in the full of night over the high mountain, the new sage with the lone brain sees it by his disciples invited to be immortal. Eyes to the south, hands in bosoms, bodies in the fire. Wiggle sees the verse as a prediction of the rise of artificial intelligence. Where did she get that? Or that person? Who knows? It says, at a reference to Tesla SpaceX owner Elon Musk, who recently moved his headquarters from California down south to Austin, Texas. In August, Musk announced Tesla's new branch to work on a humanoid Tesla bot. Well, as per the astrologer's prediction, the robot will be a blast. So this person sees all that in this little quote or whatever you want to say. And it's interesting because the scriptures speak about knowledge increasing. And that's in the book of Daniel. You know, this is Daniel 12 and 4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. And the point I want to get is that knowledge is being increased. Okay. And the book is sealed to those who are not supposed to understand these words. That's why they go to Nostradamus. That's why they go to other sources. But really, all these things are in the Bible. If you would read it, all right, even to the time of the end, many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. So the Lord is putting the Spirit upon the Israelites, His people, the hopeful elect, to rise up and to speak these words. Knowledge is being increased, but also the scriptures say this. 2 Ezra 5 and 9, and salt water shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into his secret chamber. Because there's going to be a famine of not of bread and water, but a famine of the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, of this book, the Bible. So they can have their Neuralink brain implants, Elon Musk in them. They can have their cryptocurrency, okay? They can have their Tesla and SpaceX, Their, what does it say? Tesla's new branch to work on humanoid Tesla bot. You can have all your robots and whatnot, but ultimately, knowledge is, or wit, or I should say, is going to hide itself. And knowledge, into its secret chamber. Wit, mental sharpness and inventiveness, keen intelligence, you see? Natural aptitude for using words and ideas in a quick and inventive way to create humor. Wit. The intelligence required for normal activity, basic human intelligence, right? It's going to hide itself. You see? And we see that now. We see that happening now. People, the more easier life gets, the less people use their brain, right? Because you got a computer. You don't even need to count no more. You got a calculator. What is there a use of counting? And you got a calculator, okay? It says, an understanding withdraw itself into a secret chamber. Okay? Wit is going to hide itself. Human intelligence, okay? Being witty, okay? Being quick and clever. That's all going to hide itself. And it's even today. Look at the music. Look at the lyrics of music, right? Look at the lyrics of music. Just 10 years ago, there was actual bars, lyrics. Now look at now. It's just a bunch of sounds. It's no real effort, no real talent. And that's just on a small scale. They actually, taught kids how to read. Now they just use sight words. Kids are supposed to just look at a word. You're supposed to just, tell them a word. They're supposed to just look at it and know what it is. But whatever happened to sounding out letters? Whatever happened to cursive? They don't teach cursive anymore. Okay. And ultimately, the famine of the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahshua is coming up on the earth. And this is what's going to happen. One land, 11th verse, one land also shall ask another and say, is righteousness that maketh a man righteous gone through thee? And it shall say no. You see? So there's not going to be no righteousness from one land to another. And how are you going to know righteousness if nobody speaks about it? Because what? Because wit will hide itself and understanding withdraw itself into a secret chamber. There's going to be a total famine of the word and of knowledge and wit and intelligence. Okay? This is what's coming. We don't need Nostradamus to tell us. We just have to open up the scriptures. It says, apparently, doom and gloom. Apparently, to cement his title of a prophet of doom, he also wrote, for 40 years, the rainbow will not be seen. For 40 years, it will be seen every day. Also, which one is it? The rainbow will not be seen for 40 years. It will be seen every day. Okay. Makes a lot of sense. The dry earth will grow more parched, and there will be great floods when it is seen. So, something terrifyingly nuclear could be coming Earth's way next year, as well as droughts and floods of biblically punishing proportions, as Wiggle put it. So, prophet of doom, huh? Okay. Let's see. This is a prophet of doom, huh? Well, the Lord speaks about the day of doom. This is 2 Ezra 16:43. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past. Okay? So the day of doom shall be the end of this time. So at the end of this world, okay, it's going to come a day of doom. The day of doom that is coming shall be the end of this world. How about that? How about that, Nostradamus? Little humor. So it says, "And the beginning of the immortality for to come." Okay, so after that is going to be immortality. Okay, that's what the Lord has promised the elect of Israel. Okay, which, all you Christians and naysayers are going to be shown in that day that the Lord was dealing with the Israelites, and this awakening is really something spiritual. It's really something not to be taken lightly, because it's only going to increase, and then it's going to be, that's it. It's going to be sealed. Those who got it, and those who didn't are going to what? They're going to ultimately perish, and they will be punished by the earthquakes. Okay. It says, in the beginning of the immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past. Okay. It says, intemperance is at an end, infidelity is cut off, righteousness is grown, and truth is sprung up. Right, truth is going to come back. Okay, immortality and the laws, judgments, statutes, and commandments are going to be put in our inward parts, so truth will come back. You see, that's why it's so beautiful to get your truth from the scriptures and the Lord's prophets now. Then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed. You see? So if you're going to be destroyed, no one can save you, nor to oppress him that hath gotten the victory. You see? Then I'm going to leave it there. Lord, when this was edifying, I want to say shalom.